when we're not getting more than 10% voting, we just decided to appoint other members other than the chair elect. So in the past, we would send out a survey monkey with all of the applicants and all the positions, but now we're just putting chair elects in survey monkey, and even still, we're not getting more than one or two applicants for chair elects. And this isn't every risk we're having this issue, not just chain, but so yeah, it looks like kind of appointing and trying to fill these positions, which isn't what we want. But I'm hoping for a better turnout next year for in person. But right now, we are just sort of going by word of mouth and suggestions from the leadership team. But
thank you for that background. Yeah, that does explain.
yeah, so I'm hoping to kind of get back on a similar track to where we were, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, where we're having more interest and people are applying, and we go back to voting because, I do like the democracy of of the leadership team. So
Exactly.
So I think pushing it out a few weeks probably won't make much of a difference. So unless, and also then it's sort of like, well, you already held it. That seems strange that you would just say, oh, we just want more. It's almost like we're doing it because of to apply. So unless we make it something quite a bit further out, in 7 months, to say something like we want this into place for end of the year for the incoming year, then we miss out on people in these roles.
right, and the terms get a little messed up. And so what we could do, what I've been doing with some other risk groups, is either sending a list of the risk membership, which I think I might have sent you guys, and we all can look through together and identify names who would be good candidates, or I can look back on ballots from the past and compile a short list of members who have applied to the leadership positions in previous years, and we can sort of identify names there. And I'd be happy to reach out to these people and just see if they're interested. I've had to do this throughout many other risk groups, and most of the time when I reach out, they are interested just because they have applied in the past, and they still want to get involved and maybe just didn't know about it. So those are two options as another approach to fill these positions. And then, maybe hopefully next year, we'll strategize a little bit better, advertise sooner, hopefully get back to in person.
Chain is relatively new, I believe, so I'm not sure they would be for people who applied previously.
Oh, that's true. This might be the first round of, or the second round of elections, I guess. It's not what your group would have had to apply, right?
I was appointed.
So maybe they did this, knowing Dan and John, they probably just selected people to be a part of it.
Let me take a look now. Sorry, that's a good point.
Jack, may I ask, how did you get involved initially?
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, I was asking Jacques Boy. Am I pronouncing your name all right? How did you get involved originally?
I remember Sakawat got elected last year for student rep.
Okay.
So there is one ballot, and yeah, Lauren, you were voted in. So you're right, there is only one ballot. Elizabeth Sutton, I don't know if that name sounds familiar. She also applied for chair elect last year. So maybe that's something that we could.
So whenever it will finalize the committee, SIG committee, is date finalized?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Can you hear me? I'm asking that whenever the committee will be finalized.
When the committee will be finalized?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be finalized until, I would say, September, October. We're planning on having a like a chair-elect meeting, sort of like an onboarding meeting that one of my colleagues will reach out to you about if they haven't already. We're planning on having that in September. But I I would say towards the end of the year is when we really start planning the forum for the annual meeting and start talking about different engagement opportunities leading up to the meeting. So we still have time if we wanted to wait a little bit longer and reach out to more candidates. There's no rush. I want to make sure that you guys are happy with who's joining the leadership team and are excited to work with
Of course.
the potential candidates. So
And there was something else that came up about
What is your next role for this ASN?
what is what? The next role for ASN?
Yes. Roles
The
means
next-
the next step that we can involve in it.
So the next round of elections. Is that what you're asking? So the next round of elections wouldn't happen until next June. We had them these past 2 months, and then we just haven't had a good turnout. So we're just resorting to appointing members versus electing members. But again, next year we're trying to work on fine tuning these ballots. I think maybe even changing them a bit. Maybe even just having people submit their CVs and not even necessarily applying with the questions might increase interest and just make it easier on applicants. Things like that. Things that we can, like different strategies that we can try just to increase engagement and increase the reach to the members.
Yes, exactly. I think we should involve in social media, like we are very much active on Twitter, but we have to active on Facebook, like for Asian region. Okay, and we have apps like Play Store Connects website, but there may little bit low. There is no people activate on the Connect, so we have to improve this.
Agree.
And, in my country, whenever I post about ASN in Facebook, there are around 200 to 500 people saw it. Okay, and maybe the 5 to 10 people are very much interested about it. And in Asian region, the Facebook is most popular. I think our Facebook
good idea.
activity should be reached.
Yeah, I know some other risk groups have social media accounts. It's just a bit tricky with keeping a password and passing it down.
Yeah, I'm maybe connected with you in Facebook.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe we can let me talk internally about that, about making social media pages, maybe on Facebook and Twitter, for our various risk groups, and just seeing how we can go about that, because that's another way to promote.
People influenced by social media, so if we increase our activity on it, then people will know about more about ASN,
I agree.
and there's a way to link these through ASN Connect. Person at ASN Connect maybe could be maybe some high
Personally,
visibility.
I'm saying that from my elder brother in my department, he gave a Facebook post that he was a member in ASN. Okay, then I searched about ASN on Google, then I became a member, and now I'm here. So Facebook is very important for Asian region.
So finding a way to link the different profile, like the different places online for ASN, so
Exactly.
that if there's, I'm not on Facebook very much, so just making sure that the same information gets shared in multiple places, so it keeps driving.
Yeah, there are
people back.
there are many social media as per activity and preference by the people. So in India, maybe Twitter is more famous. In Bangladesh, Facebook is more famous. In America, like Twitter is more famous, etc., etc. So we have to think about all the countries. If we want that the worldwide people know about ASN, so we have to focus that which country prefer most the social activity. Then we have to choose some members so that they can promote ASN on that social media that their country prefers more and people like more.
Mariah, who currently does the like the social media? Would it be the communications officer, or would it be someone like promoting it in
Yes.
general?
Yeah, it would be. So we have a marketing team who is. She controls our social media and she sends out the e-blasts and does all the promotions. So
Ma-
whenever she, like, even in nutrition notes when we promoted elections, I worked with her directly and she published that in nutrition notes. But let me talk to her. I think this is a good idea. Let me talk to her about maybe even opening up a social media account for all risk groups versus one for each individual risk group.
But
I'm
it,
also wondering if maybe, so we're recruiting for an engagement chair position, which is supposed to like cross contaminate, cross pollinate different different groups, and then if Shakawat becomes our new early career, which I think would be great because his international perspective is already extremely valuable. We will need a new student rep, right?
Yeah.
And then also, do we need a social media rep?
I don't think you necessarily need a social media rep per se. I think maybe next year, once maybe this is implemented or we have a plan in place in regard to social media, then